lights are going on my router, so I don't know what's going on. If it continues to fade in and out, I will stop and start again. So welcome to the last Battmaking with AriBo Arts of 2025. So running around trying to find stuff. Somewhere I have a nice little tote of Angelina, because I was going to put Angelina in this bat, and I can't find it. So that's what I get for sorting stuff. So yeah, so we're going to make our last bat of the year, because I don't think I'm going to get to any others today. But actually, I do need to clean the carder. But I'm going to tilt you down, and once I finish cleaning, I will show you, or you can peek over the edge of the carder here, what I'm working with today. So it's got my hairbrush cleaner, which is what I like to use. And I was making a bunch of purple bats, and we're done with purple for a bit, so I'm just going to go through and clean this out. Some people like to use this end. I like this end because it's, I think it gets between the teeth better. But we don't need all this purple on today's bat. And so what you want to do is clean it more often. And I will probably sometime in January do a separate demo called Sebastian Gets a Spa Day. And I've got in November, I got 2 other carders. So I may do, maybe I'll do ones for them as well. Okay, so I've done once around there. I do want to check out the liquor in, which is this over here. That one turns more slowly. It's also got wider teeth. So I tend to get less stuck in it just because of the way I make bats. Some people like to, as they're working, if stuff gets on here, they just sort of ignore it, and I take stuff off. So I tend to be pretty clean. Okay, so we got most of it. Okay, so one of the other things I do, so this is like, I can use that in the bat. That'll make a little noil. So I have a little bag over here that is very full. One of the other things I do, and you'll be able to see, is I take this particular carder, has this nice wooden frame around it, and most of it's flat. So this part here, for example, is flat. It's got one of those little rubber feet on it. But then around here, it actually bows up a little bit, and it does it on the side here and there. And also, sometimes you see me when I make bats, I reach under the feed tray because there's space there as well. But the feed tray ends about here. And so you've got this whole space here, and under here that's open. So stuff falls down. And so you do get accumulation of stuff. And one of the sort of more dramatic things I do occasionally when I show the cleaning videos is I unclamp this. And if you ever get a carder, I suggest getting clamps. This is the classic carder. It has holes in it, so you can have those, the ones, the clamps that look like that have the little wooden piece at the bottom that you sort of screw up. And so I have it clamped here and here, but there's also, I think there's a hole over here and maybe somewhere else. This one is actually designed, though, to also be used mid-table. It means that the handle here actually does not go below the body of the carder, so you can do it on the middle of the table. But if you don't have that, you can use some of those carpenter clamps, the ones with the big long. Used to keep one down here, but it's in my use it as a warping peg now. Has that long strip of metal that you can grippy the thing and the clamp falls down. You can use those because you're going to have movement. You don't want it walking all over a table. But anyways, so one of the dramatic things I sometimes do is unclamp it, lift it up, and then you can sort of see all the debris that is, the VM and the dust and all sorts of stuff like that. So, but what I can do, because I've got this little cutout, is this is actually slim enough profile that I can go under, and I sort of aim for back over here, and I pull forward. There's not really, I don't think there's a lot here because I just did it last week and I haven't made that many bats. But I do have a little bit of stuff. So you can see that is under there, and that's not everything. But you get pieces of fiber, but you also get, like the stuff on my thumb. Sometimes I'll find locks down there if I've been making things from locks. And this stuff I don't save. This stuff is trash. So it goes over in the trash pile. And so you want to do that periodically, particularly if you're changing colors a lot, because you don't want anything from down below to get caught up in your bats. Okay, that was your lesson for today. Okay, let's talk about what we're going to make. I thought this would be sort of a nice New Year's Eve color combo. This is, get the breed thing here, Coopworth and Silk Noil. It's called Nutmeg is the color. It's from a Wisconsin farm and fiber mill. I love those flecks. And so to play up those flecks, I have fire nylon. I've got some Jolly Rancher bamboo. And I've got this Firestar. Not sure. I may pick more of the brownie gold bits. May end up. This is one where I got it from someone. The color didn't go all the way through, so there may also be a lot of white. And I wanted bronze Angelina, but I can't find the Angelina box. I'm just sort of looking around, and now I can't see it. So it's someplace really safe, I bet. Okay, so this is pretty thick. So Coopworth has a lot of loft, a lot of crimp to it. And I mean, it's not the cuddliest, but it's a good durable fiber. And I think their farm mostly has Coopworth. So I flattened it out a little bit. That process also lets me feel if there's any VM in there, particularly big pieces. And then we're just gonna, I love how it has the silk noil in it because it means I don't have to add it. There we go. Sebastian, as usual, is a little squeaky. When I do a spa day, hopefully that will help. So we got our bamboo. I might grab some Tussa silk. Like maybe like the honey colored. Let me see what I got here. What is this? Ooh, I could do this. Very sort of luxury. This is camel silk top. Possibly. Let's see what else I got in here. I'm trying to go like browns and golds. Okay, this is the Tussa silk I was thinking about. I'm trying to decide between the two. This is more of a solid. I think I'm going to do the camel. Well, I could also... Oh, yeah. That is red airy silk. We're going to put that in there, too. There. I'm liking that better. Not sure how much of this I want to put on. So let's just try a little bit. Okay, so we got that. This should pick up the color of the silk noil. this is bothering me. This is a clump of bamboo. I just got a whole bunch of new knitting, old knitting needles that I could use for this type of thing. So when I get a clump, what I do is I come back and grab it and then just paint it on some more. Okay, so we got that. Got this bio nylon, which is similar. I mean, it's not the same color as the Airy Silk. So they're together. There's a little bit of that. So it's not going to have the glittery effect that I would have wanted if I'd had the Angelina. So this is the Firestar, which is the tri-level nylon. Oh yeah, that works. I like that. It's got some nice depth to it. I'm going to press everything down. Okay. And we just keep doing it on repeat. Okay. First things first, we're going to take off the tag. Save that. Somewhere safe. I also try not to get too much stuff near the dry band. When I teach classes, one of the big instructions I have, because people like to stand here and put all their stuff here, and I'm like, no, all your stuff goes over here, because you put stuff here, you're going to get stuff that starts to get caught in the drive band, and then it becomes tangled around the gears, and it's just a big disaster. So placement is key. Now, if you're left-handed, you kind of got to work with the right-handed stuff, though I will say there is at least one company that makes left-handed drum carters. So just be aware of that. I think it's Brother. Oh, that lovely silk noise. Put a little more on over here. Generally, when I make these Coopworth bats, I just know because I like their fiber and I work with it a lot. The bats never end up being huge. Get myself untangled here. So I'm going to run errands in town today, and then I get the timing right, head down to my guild so I can work on that towel, which I haven't worked on since last week. And I've got a few pieces to dye. I have a commission that I was supposed to last week have overdyed, and I just never made it back to do that. Dye a few other things with it at the same time. I just don't like driving after dark this time of year since I hit the deer. And daylight is so sparse. I think this one's got a little bit of white in it, but I think we'll be okay. There we go. yes, I need to do a few things. Got a whole bunch of recycling riding around the van that still needs to be dealt with. Make sure I get some groceries because everything closes early tonight and nothing's open tomorrow. Fortunately, Heloise has enough food, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'm like, I have like almost no pretzels left, which are my main snack food. A couple other things I want to make, so I'm going to need things from the store. And I got to get more hot chocolate. I get this no sugar kind that only one store in town has. And so I got to go over there. My grocery list is really weird because it's like I need one thing from one store. I need 3 things from a different store. We have 4 grocery, well, one is Walmart, but 4 grocery stores in town. And, I've gone through and figured out, which items I prefer from which ones and which ones have the best prices. Like there's one thing that is sort of a staple on my grocery list that was almost $2 cheaper at Walmart. And so that's where I buy it. And it's not like it's like a $40 thing. I mean, it's like a $5 thing. I really like the red Aerie silk on that. Camel. Bio-nylon. So it's a biodegradable nylon product. I wonder if I've named a bat New Year's Eve. I probably have. Maybe I'll call it clock drop or something, or ball drop or something like that. Okay. And we want the fire star. I'm doing New Year's Eve also as rainbows. I don't know if you see my shirt. Of course, it's backwards for you. It says, rainbows make everything better. Let's go peace sign here, heart up here. And I have my rainbow knitting needle earrings on. They're recycled knitting needles. And they've been put sort of in a rainbow order. Got those from when I went to DFW Fiber Festival. Yes, I can put earrings back in. There we go. Though it's a vendor who goes all over the place. Not naming names since I'm in Waffle right now. So okay, so we still got a lot of room, but I can still see if I look at the horizon. I can still see space in there. And then also I feel it by touching the doffer crease and how full that feels. The hardest thing about working with silk noil is, particularly if I'm going like this, trying to feel for VM, sometimes the silk noil feels like VM. So that's a silk waste product. Noil is not over 1 inch in length. That's what noil means. Put some over here. I think how much more I have from this vendor. I don't think I have a show with her until April. So I definitely want to get more. were doing really good with the snow melting. Because we had a couple days where it actually hit 40, but we'd had like a foot of snow. So it took a while for it to go away. So I was waiting for the snow to vanish so I could like go get the tomato cages out of my garden that I left because I didn't have my van in November. And of course, the minute I get my van back, we had that giant snowfall. So I was waiting so I could clear the rest of my plot. And then, of course, what happens? It snows again. So I'm hoping in the next couple days, the more that we got vanishes so I think we've got to have a couple days that are up around 30 or more. And so if I can undo this a little bit. If I can get into the plot and get the stuff out, I'm sure the city would be very happy because it's their lot. Okay, got that. Bio nylon. And fire starter. I'm going to be able to get one more layer on at least. But I'm going to quickly have a drink of water. I went and last month or in October, I think. No, I think it was November. I reorganized a lot of storage in here that you can't see because you just see this a little bit whenever you're on camera with me. And it was great and everything was working. And then earlier this month, I pulled out one of the looms. I got you can sort of see. I don't know if you can see it over there. I've got a loom right back here, behind these combs. There's a folded up loom, which is my Saori loom. Her name is Orihime. But I also have. You cannot see it there. I don't think you can see it. You can maybe see the very edge of it here. I don't know. I have my 4-shaft Louette, which is, it's an Erica loom. I had to have an Erica loom, right? Of course, it's misspelled. They spelled it with a C and not a K. Anyways, I pulled that out because I thought I was going to do a project, or actually I was going to use it in the window displays for this Christmas thing I did. And then there was no room for it. So it's just sort of sitting in the middle of the room here. And I have to decide, am I actually going to take it out and warp it up, which means it would probably then go to the front room, or am I just going to put it back? And so it's just, the indecision means it's just sort of sitting in the middle of the room and has disrupted all the things in here. But I will say, the Erica loom is a table loom, very pretty loom. But this one I have a stand for, because my rule for table looms is I have no table space, so they have to have a stand. They don't have any place to put them. And the stand is just it's really sort of graceful. It's almost like wishbone for the bottom legs. And, okay, it's not as wishbone, but it's still very graceful. And then to support the legs, there's this nice sort of arch. And Heloise loves to come and sit right under that arch. She looks very pretty there. And so she likes the fact that I've pulled it out so she can, pose in front of it. We might make this our last layer. We're getting pretty, we're not full, but we're pretty full, but think it's going to be a particularly heavy bat. I mean, the bamboo will definitely lend weight. That. Airy silk. Bio nylon. I do like the bio nylon, particularly on the last outer level, because it's rather grippy and it helps sort of keep flyaways from happening from things like silk or bamboo. Okay, let's see what I've got here. A piece. Work and not be too white. You can see it sort of flying away. I wonder if I should have put the bio nylon on after. It will end up giving it a bit of a halo. That there. Probably make more of these. And then this, just put it in my laundry bag for right now. So I have space to pull stuff out. Okay. Time to take the bat off. I'm going to go one more time like this. Pressing everything down. That's got some shimmer to it. Very sort of elegant New Year's Eve vibe. Okay, yeah, it's not. I don't think it's gonna be particularly heavy. It's feeling on the thinner side. Anyone wants to guess, go right ahead. Person who gets closest gets trophy emojis. If you're watching this later on YouTube, because I download all of my videos and upload them unedited to YouTube, because Facebook will delete this after 30 days. And the ones on YouTube are just listed by date. Very frizzy. It's like me when I was younger in the summer. And my hair just would go. There's a reason I have short hair. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to come back over here. Here's the doffer crease where I broke the bat. And I'm going to pull this side back into the doffer crease so it's not all frizzing up here. And I think we're going to need our knitting needle to free things from the teeth. The silk oil here is so well incorporated. I love it. Because usually when I do it just for one layer and I don't do extra blending. So mine is much more streaky. This is going to be a lovely, spin up into a lovely tweed. Really nice. But I may have to see if they have other colors that have the silk oil in it. Which means before I do that show, I gotta make sure I've got a good budget for shopping. Okay, we got a little bit that went over, way over. So here's the doffer crease. So that edge that I tucked under, some of that still got carded to about here. Okay, let's take a look at this. What do you think? I love it. I feel like it's sort of tiger's eye and sort of bronze and all sorts of fun amber and all that. So I'm going to come over here, turn the scale on. I'm going to roll this. I suspect I'm going to get fiber all over my t-shirt. Okay, we're going to put on the container, tear it out to 0. Stuff it in, get the bag out of the way. I'm going to grab a piece of paper. So all the little stickers I use, I cut up into sheets. So this is the slippery side that had the sticker on it, so I can't use that, but this is perfectly good to write on the other side. Okay, so I was going to call it Ball Drop, but I really am thinking I'm going to call it Amber Nights. And I got one of my bigger ones since I'm going to make more of these. And so you ready for the weight? It is on the smaller side. Made it over 2 at least, 2.12 ounces. Okay, so that is Amber Nights. I will do the tease, fold, and roll probably right after this. Take some photos, and I'll put it up in the group so you can see what it looks like. I wish you all a pleasant end to 2025. It has been a very long year, and I wish everyone the best for 2026. You all take care.